We are recording.
Okay. All right, we'll start the meeting now. Thank you, pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible,
Invisible.
with
justice
liberty.
for all.
Justice for all.
This time I call for any public comment. Public comment, going twice. Public comment 3 times. Done with that. Approve the minutes from the April 5th meeting. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
I'll-
Stefan.
Get a second?
I'll second that, Jimmy. Nick.
All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Next, we have Don Smith representing the Conroy subdivision.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I don't know if we can act without Jim or if you can act, but I guess I can give you the basics. I'm Donald Smith, consulting engineer, representing the estate of Frank and Anna Conroy at 130 Skokorat Street, which is on the east side of Skokorat Street between Heritage Drive and Paramount Drive. There's an existing 3-acre parcel that is basically the homestead. And we are looking to create 2 new additional lots in addition to the existing house. So there'd be a total of 3 houses here. Because this area is an R18 zone, it is being proposed to have a 2-family house on each of the 2 new lots. We've estimated the flow for the 2 new buildings or 4 dwelling units to be approximately 1,200 gallons per day. That flow comes down Skokorat Street towards 67. It's before you get to the crest in the hill, so that comes down 67 and does not run through the pump station that's further up to the north. I know Jim had a set of plans. He had requested a revision, which we have completed and submitted. So basically, each of the new dwellings would be served with a new 6-inch lateral out to Skokorat Street within its own property. And there'd be 2 new saddle connections to the existing main in Skokorat. So I'm trying to give Jim some more time to sit down here, but there. So,
Yeah, he has to approve that.
Thank you, Don. Just for the commission's benefit, we have done a review of this plan. It's very straightforward. A couple of lots, 2 units, duplexes, each one having their own lateral. They have the laterals on their own piece, their own parcel. And I think Jonathan has already determined what the assessment will be. And like I say, it's a real straightforward project. Don's done a lot of these for us in the past, so he knows what we're looking for. The plans were complete. And I think it's ready for the commission to vote.
For the record, Mr. Chairman, this is Jonathan Morrow. The impact and connection fee for each of those would be $4,300, and that's each.
Say that number again, I'm sorry.
5,300, that's impact and connection fee as per your rules.
So Jim, you officially looked at the revision, you signed off on the approval?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have to give it a final approval?
Well, it's ready for your vote.
there's anybody against it, I would vote for approval for the 130 Street, Skokorat Street subdivision hookup.
So I make a motion to approve.
You have a second?
Motion will fail as a result of no second.
No second? Do we get a second on the motion?
Is there a motion to deny? You guys, you got to take some action here. Either someone's got to second the motion or a motion and a second to deny the hookups.
Well, I can't vote on it, so.
You can't make a motion, Jim, so it's got to be either Steve or Nick or I don't know who made the motion.
That's fine. I already made the motion.
Steve made the motion, so either Nick or
Well, just, Nick is the only one left.
Nick is our only other member.
Yeah. Can you hear us, Nick? Might have lost the call. Nick, are you there?
Hello?
You there,
Hello?
Nick?
Yes,
Still with us?
I'm with you now. I don't know what happened. I either had bad service or, but it was going in and out, and I don't know what you guys were talking about, to be honest with you. I heard Jim talk, and that was the last thing I heard.
Don, can you take it through and Jim take Nick through it real quick?
I don't always have great service right here, you know. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But yeah, go ahead. I heard the beginning of it. Jim was going through the plans of the those two sewer connections on Skokorat Street, and that's as far as I got.
Yeah, Nick, just for your benefit, they're two standard connections, each one on each individual lot. The application's complete. There's nothing from the WPCA standpoint. There's nothing unusual. There's no request for changes to the rules. The plans are accurate and are ready for a vote.
Oh, sure.
We need a
Revenue for
second.
Oh, yeah, Jim looked at the plans. He says they're good. It's good revenue for us too. I'll second that.
Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. I guess we're good now.
Jim, what members are on the call right now?
We're missing Mr. Finley and Mr. Van Eggen.
Okay.
Nick's phone dropped out. He didn't hear it, so.
All right. So the motion carried 3-0 with 2 missing, 2 absent.
Right. So we're good?
Yep.
All right, thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks for
Welcome.
coming. Veolia Water reports. Walter.
Okay, for April, the plant was in compliance. As far as maintenance, major things, we had a new flow meter installed, influent flow meter, and hooked up to our sampler, so we had flow proportional samples. Clarifier, north clarifier, we had a start switch, it failed, So we had Jarvis replace that. We had the dump truck had a DOT inspection, and we repaired a couple things, and there's a cabin control module on order. We're waiting to hear back what the report is. Hoists were inspected, replaced the baffle board on a primary clarifier. Backflow preventers were tested and inspected. Number 3 blower tripped out, wouldn't restart, so we had Spencer come in to diagnose. We're still waiting to hear what the final diagnosis is. They're researching it. Replaced primary sludge valve operator extensions on tank 3. Collection system, tower generator. We had to replace the emergency generator battery. It had a NiCad battery in there. Replaced it with a regular battery because the NiCad battery was like $2,500 to replace. And if it had failed, we wouldn't have been able to. We wouldn't have one on, to get on easy enough. So this makes it so we can just go get another battery. And we had a high level at Titus Pump Station. There's an AdaPhase that converts the 220 or whatever up to 480. Some of the capacitors blew out. I had some on hand to get us started, and I ordered 10 more, so we replaced all of them, so they're all new now there, all the start capacitors. Fire extinguishers were all inspected. And had a partial blockage in a manhole at 18 Moss Avenue. I guess Jim's guys were up there, Dave Brickett's guys maybe, and they notified us. So we went up there. There was a bunch of junk in the manhole. We replaced it. We cleaned it all out. We moved a chunk of clay pipe. We also did from Moss to the Lane and Bryson intersection, and there's a manhole frame up there and it needs to be replaced. Got a call for sewage running down the driveway at 7678 Maple Street. When we went up there was nothing flowing anywhere, but in his yard, in the driveway, you could see a lot of debris in the yard. So he had a problem. Must have a problem with his lateral, and I guess he did some work on it, but that was totally unacceptable. I told him, hey, you got to get that fixed right away, So I think I talked to Jim. I don't know what's happened there. He'll let you know. But anyways, it's basically his lateral needs to be repaired or replaced. Regional Water inspected South 30 Pump Station, backflow preventers. We had a mark out at 17 Patrick. We cleaned sewer from Bungay to the entrance of the Bungay Elementary School, up their driveway. There's 2 manholes up there. There was they had a somewhat of a backup, I guess. It wasn't, they called the plumber in. I guess they must have pushed whatever's in the lateral out into the sewer in the driveway. So we did from Bungay all the way up to the entrance of the school. So they should be in good shape there. No lost time accidents. We had 9,642 days. Confined space entry was safety training for April. Last page, going to we ordered 10 manhole frames and covers. We have some locking ones, but we need some non-locking ones for in the streets. So we ordered 10 of those, and we're waiting for those. And there's 3 manhole frames and covers going to be replaced. One is on Charles Street, one is on Briarwood, and the other one's on Maple Street. And we've got one or two more to add to the list. So that's pretty much it, unless anybody has questions. And, we got the R&M budget for 220. We were 13,227.19 over the budgeted amount, so we put in for a reimbursement for that. And for 2021, we are up to 13,000, so we're 5,421 over the budget. We had thought, we had a flow meter. We had, what was the most? Connecticut crane. We had NAP set up and tuned the chlorine system. Replaced the battery at Stop and Shop. We had the lab, all the equipment in the lab calibrated or calibrated and inspected. Massachusetts Fire Technology, so that's the main core of everything that was done in April. I mean, that's pretty good unless you have questions.
Walt, this is John Lee. That amount you're speaking to is the 25,000 that's in the limit account, correct?
Yes,
Okay. It's important for the commissioners to understand they also have in their budget an additional amount that's not part of that 25,000 contractual limit account. So I think overall, they're still below budget for their repair and maintenance account overall. So I think it's just an important distinction.
This is pretty typical every year. We're actually, some months some years we're 20, 30,000 over, sometimes 10. So this is right in line with what we've typically been.
Yeah, I just think for clarification purposes for the new commissioners that they, when you're talking about the limit account, it's that 25,000 that's set by the contract, but they, through their budget, their own budget, they've added additional R&M funds into their budget, which in some total are still below budget so far for the year. So
yeah, it used to be like 60,000. I think last year it was raised up. I don't remember the number right now, John. You might know.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. They added for maintenance $100,800.
Okay, good.
And and as of April, you've spent 62. So you still have, so that's about 61%, 62% of your budget as of the end of April.
Okay, well, I'm sure this year we'll have quite a few items in there.
Sorry about that, Chairman. I just wanted to make sure it was clear to the new commissioners.
No, it's a good point. Thanks.
Oh yeah, one other item. South Derby Pump Station. Jim will talk about that more. But there's a roof leak there. We went on top. We cleaned the roof off. See if we could find it. Really couldn't find anything standing out saying, okay, there's a leak. But we did a little bit of patch job just for temporary to see if that would work. But talking with Jim over there, we said, okay, let's get some ballpark numbers if we have to replace it, because it's probably 30, 40 years old, that roof. So I talked to one contractor and they said, no, it's going to be less than $15,000 to $20,000. I talked to another one. He said, no more than 10,000. So he said maybe $7,500 to $10,000. So that's our ballpark number. And next step would be to get them in there and have them take a look, give us a real number.
Hey, Walter.
Yes.
The only thing is about, there's a lot of different kinds of roofs and a lot of different kind of shingles, and there's water and ice, and so those two verbal numbers from two guys don't mean anything until we can get them to put it on paper and see what they're giving us for that money. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
roofers have a very good way of hiding their prices, trust me. But it's easy because nobody knows what they're talking about. But so we should maybe just try to take a look at that if we can. That's all.
Say that again,
No.
I'm sorry.
We should just see if we can get these guys to give us hard numbers with a quote and what they're giving us, both of them or three of them. Because for $7,500, we might not be getting a very good product. We don't know that right now, you know. That's all.
That was our next step, is to get them out there.
So you're one step ahead of me. All right.
But
Thank
It
you.
was, it was
Walter.
kind of a time restriction, so I had to just get something, you know, before I could get them out there.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Thank you.
All right. Thank
Right.
you.
You're all set, Walter?
I'm all set. I mean, to take up all the time here.
Next we have income report.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen and ladies. There is your monthly income report for April, rather well. We did very good in for the April billing. Your sewer usage brought in $886,215.72. Now, to put that in context, last year, same month, was $711.91. I'm sorry, $711.91.68. So that's an increase of about 19%. And of that, of your 886,215.72, for the second month, the payment portal did 75,850. So the benefit of all of that is also not only payments whenever the residents want, but also on the weekends, where normally we don't get in anything, nothing shows up until Monday. You have a continual stream of revenue. That's quite the hit there. And the next thing under my report is there is a billing issue. It's an adjustment that I need from the board. It is for 289 Bank Street. I got a call from the owner, and this has been disconnected from the water, which I followed up with Aquarion Water, and they did confirm that in November 2017, they disconnected it. Of course, we really don't get that. We get, they just send across a 0. So we have to assume that it's always connected unless something like this happens. Anyway, but I confirmed, and the owner requests that the balance that's on there be waived, and she has actually consumed no water, so it's not an unreasonable request. However, it's above my amount to adjust. I'm allowed by past practice up to $300. Well, this is $556.70, and if you agree with me, I need a motion to waive that, and that's for 289 Bank Street.
I'll make a motion.
Right.
John, this is Nick.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Well, could I just ask a question, Jim?
Go ahead.
I haven't seen this before. This woman hasn't used the sewer at all, and so she wants her fee waived. Is that accurate?
That's correct. Basically, she's not even connected to water. Okay.
Right.
So there's nothing going down the pipes.
Gotcha.
Okay. She can't flush a toilet. There's no sinks work because the physical connection has been removed since November 2017, and that's why she's asking for a waiver.
Gotcha.
I think the
Thank
house
you.
was abandoned.
What was that, Walter?
I think that's the house that's been abandoned for a long time.
Possibly.
Okay. And Nick, you second it?
Actually,
Uh,
Stefan did.
Yeah, I seconded.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nick made the motion.
okay.
I mean,
So all in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. You can waive the bill, Jonathan.
Thank you. I'll be in contact her and let her know about the good news.
Okay.
Okay. Next up on your agenda is your finance report. And that's doing rather well also. Your cash balance is $1,007,581.89, and the capital reserve account is $1,069,540.64. So that's because of the rather successful April collections. And now, mind you, some of the collections that did occur, some of it was old money, to be sure, but a lot of it was, I had been told by numerous customers that having the payment portal was a lifesaver because they don't have checks, or they forgot, and then they could just go right on with a credit card or their checking account and just pay it off. And some people even paid off their old bills because they could put it on a credit card. So again, sort of driving the point home.
That's a good thing about the results anyway.
Yeah. And I mean, last month was, close to 30,000, this one being 75, have 100,000 roughly in 2 months. That's wonderful. And that's from one source, not anything else. That's, everything else is either, checks or the lockbox or what have you. But anyway, that's your financial report. And you spent last month $150,491.90. So, and with your permission, the next thing will be the invoices that I have sent to the board.
All right, can I get a motion to pay the bills?
So moved. Stefan.
A second?
I'll second that. Nick?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. You pay the bills, Jonathan.
Okay, thank you.
So you're all set, Jonathan?
I am with that, yes.
Okay. Next we have a budget workshop. I think John Oley can review.
I'm sorry, Chairman, you'd like me to go through the budget workshop, or?
Yeah, you can. We can go over the major things. I think at our next meeting we can hopefully have it in person. You can show everybody.
Yeah, I can certainly. I don't know if it's easier for me to share the screen with everyone, but it's the spreadsheet that we developed as part of our last year's budget prep, and it lists the 9 major categories of the budget, their current limits, and then kind of where we stand year to date, to give the commission an insight as to how accurate the budgeting process was last year, which was again based on the previous year's numbers. So, Chairman, I don't know if it's easier for me to share my screen, or not really sure, for the new commissioners if they've seen it. But we do need to get together as a group and go through the numbers in preparation for the new budget for 21-22, and then present that to the first selectman's office as we did last year.
Well, John, you actually refined it last year, and it came out very well. I think it's just a matter of fine tuning it this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, right now we're ahead of plan. We're ahead of plan, ahead of budget by about 48,000 year to date. It is April. We still have 2 more months to go. And if you include the capital, that's without capital. And with the capital, you're about $184,000 under budget year to date. So all in all, I think the budget that was prepared last year is tracking very nicely with the actual costs in this fiscal year. So I think it will just be a matter of reviewing with the commissioners the year-to-date numbers, and then what escalation we feel would be appropriate for those categories based on CPI and other potential expenditures, planned expenditures, I should say, in any one of the 9 categories. And we can have, I can have some CPI data available for the commissioners as well, so they can kind of see where we're tracking it. You know, we are coming out of the pandemic. I think everyone is probably currently, you know, aware that things are starting to get more expensive. Inflation is starting to rear its ugly head up a bit. But, you know, again, I think we can present where the CPI, you know, has been over the last 6 months, and then somewhat project where it might be for the next 12.
Could you send the information out so everybody can see it? Then our next meeting, we can go over it.
Sure, absolutely. And again, I'd be happy to share my screen with everyone today. You can see kind of what the budget template looks like. I know we've shared it in the past. It's just an Excel file that I developed. But again, it gets updated each month to show, you know, where we are with respect to each one of the 9 categories that are in your budget.
Does anybody want to see it right now? Or no?
Okay, I'll send the updated one after the call to everyone, and then you know, we'll update it again before the next meeting, and I'll include some CPI projections from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. So.
All right. If nobody has any questions for John.
The only other thing, Commissioner, that we had in last year's budget, we had estimated about an 87% collection rate. We'll have a better understanding next month, you know, how close we are to that collection rate. So we will need to discuss what we estimate our new collection rate might be. Hopefully higher based on the new portal. As well as you know, some of the additional income that John's been seeing. So I know Mr. Proto's been really keen on improving that collection rate well above targeted to get well above the 87% that we currently are been historically at. So.
Right, good point. Make things easier.
But that's all I have on that, if anyone has any questions.
Nothing for Mr. Oatley? Okay. Next we have legal report.
Good evening, everyone. A couple things. Excuse me. Jim Galligan, I don't know if you've heard from our friend at Nickel Mine Road. I spoke with the chairman today about that. I had sent out last month after our meeting a letter to him, both by certified return receipt and first class mail. It's a little trick I learned. If you ever have to do that, always send it first class, because they can't refuse a first class letter, but they can refuse a certified letter, which he did. He didn't claim it, but the first class letter didn't come back. So I'm assuming he got that. So Jim, have you heard from him at all?
I have not.
Okay. The letter was very straightforward. Either he contacts Jim, gets us onto the property so we can figure out what's going on there, and that we're willing to do the fix at our cost. Or if he doesn't want to get in touch with us, if there is another backup, we're not liable on that backup pursuant to the Supreme Court decision of 2 years ago. And at this point, I can't make him call Jim. Jim can't make him call him. We've asked, I've spoken to him before the pandemic. After the pandemic hit in March, I spoke with him again and have sent him numerous letters. So the nickel mine issue is on the property owner at this point. Second issue is we've been doing more collections on delinquencies. I know in April we did pretty well when we got people signed up. I assume many of them are on a payment plan, a monthly payment plan. So we'll see how well they keep to that in May for their payment plans. I've had a number of people who reached out and wanted to go onto a payment plan who I have sent payment plans to who have not responded. So I'm going to be following up with them this month. And the portal has worked out very well on that. In fact, I think Jonathan can probably tell you, I think we've had 1 or 2 people actually pay off their full delinquent balances, if not more than that, through the portal. Other than that, those are the 2 big issues that I've been dealing with the last month is nickel mine and trying to get people on payment schedules.
Any questions for Ben?
Oh, Mr. Chairman, this is Jonathan Morrow again. I'd like to thank Attorney Proto for his help with myself and Melissa Meridian, who's not on this call, unfortunately, with the late notice.
That was the third thing. Thank you, Jonathan. Go ahead.
That's fine.
I couldn't remember the third thing was.
Anyway, but they will be going out in a few days once we run interest, which should be occurring very soon. And everyone, I think you're going to see some, I know I'm going to see some mysterious stuff where they didn't get the bill, but they got the late notice.
Yep.
That's all I have to say.
Yes, I have any number of customers have told me I've never gotten a bill, which I find, well, here's the address it's being sent to. Yeah, but it never comes to my house. We do have one irate person who may or may not contact the chairman or may or may not contact the first selectman, who is just absolutely irate that the town would threaten to foreclose their property to get their money, even though he owed us like $12,000 or $13,000 and hadn't paid a bill in forever. So most people are good about it. I think it still comes down to issue that we talked about with the April and October billing versus the January and July billing from the town. And I think a number of people, I had a number of people tell me they called the tax collector when they got my letter, and the tax collector said, nope, not me. You got to talk to Attorney Proto or call Jonathan Morrow down at Wpca. So I think there are a number of people in town who also believe that the tax collector is involved in this.
Or
All right.
out of their mortgage.
Right.
They're in enough trouble doing his own job. Oops.
All right, thank you, Ben. Next, we have engineering report.
Yes, good evening. I have several things to cover tonight. As Jonathan has mentioned, we have 3 or 4 manholes that have been determined as needing repair. If you look at my capital improvement projects, I put in a placeholder so that we can start a a routine of inspections to do about 20% of the manholes per year to try and get a handle on what manholes are, manhole frames in particular, are dislodged, are damaged. This is the time of year to do that inspection because it's after the plows have gone by. The sonar testing that we've been doing is about 80% complete. The manhole inspections associated with that are complete, and I'll have a full detailed report for the commission for next month. The same is true for the infiltration and inflow monitoring. We're going to have we'll have a full detailed analysis and report for next month. Walter did mention to you the South Derby pump station. We're planning to put the new generator outside of the existing structure, reduce the cost of the installation. There have been a number of code updates, I'll call them, inside, including lighting and such. Nick, just to follow back to your conversation about the roof, we're planning on using an EPDM roof. It's a flat roof. Or it's a slightly pitched roof, but we're planning on doing an EPDM roof for that structure. It's about 25 by 25. And so I think that the budget numbers that Walter were quoting are fairly reasonable, based on the 600 and something square foot area. One of the things that the chairman asked me to include in this year's budget is to circle back and start re-inspecting the FOG applications. A lot of for the new members, the FOG stands for fat, oils, and grease. Typically, a fast food restaurant, pick McDonald's, they have a system within their facility that removes fats, oils, and grease from the discharge chain. They're responsible for cleaning that structure, cleaning the equipment, and recording the process and identifying where the disposed material goes to. These have been registered in the town as part of the DEP requirements, and Jim has asked us to start to circle back and make sure that the establishments are physically following through on the process, following through on the maintenance, and following through on the reporting. I don't know if you remember last month or the month before, Walter was talking about the sludge thickener, the centrifuge needing some makeshift structural repairs. We're planning to do an analysis to see what's the best sludge disposal method, the best sludge handling method in preparation of doing the capital improvements for the plant and the sludge disposal process for that. Let's see. And Jim also asked me to put in a stakeholder number for a building for the new flush truck. One of the problems that we've been having with our vehicles is when they're stored inside the garage, the toxic gases from the processing has a tendency to attack a lot of the computer systems, a lot of the electronic systems. And we're going to be looking to build just a Butler building, simple metal Butler building somewhere in the back of the plant to house the new flush truck, and also have some storage as well.
So that building won't be heated, right, Jim?
I'm sorry?
Will that building be heated?
Yes, it'll have to be heated, Nick, because the flush truck holds water.
Yep. No, that was why I asked the question. I agree.
Yep.
And I know what you're going to.
Yeah, we've done that, Jim, in other places, and just used a little propane heater.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something very simple. Yeah.
Yeah, 45 degrees, right? Something like that.
That's well, just to knock the cold out of it enough to maintain the equipment.
Perfect. You guys already knew the answer to the question I was going to ask. Cool.
Jim
And that's-
Galligan, this
Yes,
is
sir.
John Morrow. For my edification, and just so I can explain in the minutes, what exactly is a Butler building? I'm not familiar with the term.
Sure, it's a prefab metal structure. John, Butler is one of the first people that made them, so they're all called Butler buildings, just like tissues are called Kleenex. But it's just a metal structure put on a concrete slab.
Thank you.
Steel building, John. There's tons
Okay.
of manufacturing.
Everybody's building them now, right, Nick?
Steel's up though. Well,
Yeah.
everything's up.
All right, Mr. Galligan, any questions for Mr. Galligan then?
One more, Mr. Chairman. This is Jonathan again. Jim, tangent to all this is also a necessitated rate increase. We're thinking about 10%. Do you agree?
Yes, if you look at as our, and that's just kind of why I'm hoping we'll be able to meet in person next month. If you look at our projected cash flow for the improvements, you're seriously behind in getting some revenue together to be able to generate funds for the improvements. And I would be glad to go over that hopefully in person, because I think it makes it a lot easier to understand. If you remember last year, I did the projection out for the full extent of the capital improvements, and you can see that we're significantly underfunded for the capital improvements that are needed at the plant.
Okay. If we're all set with Mr. Galligan, any new business? Hearing no new business. As far as I know, there's no executive session needed. And that leads us to the last item, adjournment. I get a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Stefan.
I got a second?
I'll second that, Nick.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, chair votes aye. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming.
Thank you. Good night.
All right, Jimmy. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night, all.
Thank you. Hey, Jim, are you there still?